I'm in Chapala, Mexico. I actually moved from Portland, Oregon area in March of 2020. I arrived in Mexico across the border on Friday the 13th in March, and been here ever since. So I got here just 1 week before the whole world shut down because of COVID. Thank you very much. Didn't know anybody. There was nothing else going on, and I just had 2.5 months of doing nothing. So couldn't go to restaurants, couldn't go to any place because everything's closed. So I did a lot of walking.
Yeah, that's interesting. We bought our house in February of 2020 in La Paz, but we couldn't move in for 9 months because we didn't really own it. And we're just comparing notes on the shutdowns to COVID. We are really close to Guadalajara. And as I understand, talking to some people, that was why shutdowns here along Lake Chapala were more strict, because a lot of people from Guadalajara come down for the weekend, come down and party down here. So I know also, I think in Ajijic they stopped liquor sales. And in an effort to kind of tamp down the movement of people back and forth. But in La Paz, it wasn't nearly as shut down. It just, things became very restricted, but because everything's outside, things were still up and running. But hopefully we won't have to experience one of those again. But we are here at the American Legion, so I'm going to have Randy talk a little bit about what this place is and what it does for the community.
We're at the American Legion in Chapala. This is the largest post in the country of Mexico. We have actually 15 posts, 8 active, and there are only 2 posts that actually have buildings. One in Puerto Penasco / Rocky Point, just south of Phoenix, and this one here. All the other posts meet in restaurants and bars. We work very hard in the community. We do a lot of support with social services company or social services for Chapala. Like I said, we work with DEEF, which is it's a social services, and we also support an all-girls orphanage. The auxiliary does, and then we also support a halfway house for alcohol and drugs for young men. That's actually supported by the Sons. There's an organization in Guadalajara that helps Mexicans who served in the U.S. military but were deported for whatever stupid reasons, and so they work with those people to get them back into the United States to get some citizenship and get their record cleared. And we just had one done early part of this year. He'd been doing it. He'd been working on it for like 30 years, and finally got his appointment in Seattle, got his residency, citizenship, and living back in the U.S. And he was 65 years old when he left here recently. And in that time, he actually got a bachelor degree in IT. So when he gets up there, he can hopefully do something. So we support that. The American Legion supports the local A1 local youth soccer team that plays here in Chapala. They're ages 12 to 18. There are other things that we support. We actually have a real big program that we call Causes in Crisis, and that is where if somebody has a deed to their house, they have to own it, and they're having issues with the roof, they need a window, they need a door, they need a bathroom, they need a sink, something. We don't do remodeling. We assist and help rebuild or add something to their house in that manner, trying to put a roof on so it doesn't rain, especially during the rainy season. So those are some of the things that we do here in Chapala with American Legion. And like I said, there are 3 organizations here. You got the American Legion, which you have to be a veteran to join. You have the auxiliary, which is veterans, well, how do I say that? Their spouses, whether they're male or female spouses, because they changed the rules years ago, and or partners organization. Then we have one that is called the Sons, and their fathers or grandfathers had to serve in the service. And so that's the 3 organizations we have here at the American Legion.
So those are all the great things that they do for the community here. And this is, folks from the U.S. However, because they have a facility here, it's also a social hub for just about probably everyone in Chapala. So I want to hear a little bit about this. And if you've seen the video, if I posted it already on the Lake Chapala Society, that's over in Ajijic, and it's also kind of an expat service and whatnot. So it seems similar, so maybe we'll hear some differences. And what it is how expats or people from the U.S., Canada, and whatnot can enjoy the facilities here.
We've had this facility, we're renting it. We've had it for probably 20 years, and it's very large. We have, we're sitting behind me now, we have a memory wall of all the license plates across the U.S. from different American Legion posts. We give them one, they bring us one type of thing. We have a restaurant, we have a full bar, we have just a lot of places for people to come and sit inside or outside. We can actually, for events, we've put in 200 people in this facility for events. We put a lot of large events on here. The American Legion actually celebrates all the major U.S. holidays. We're coming up now on September, so we'll be doing Labor Day. The auxiliary will be doing Oktoberfest in October, but we do it all. We get a lot of people in here. Every Tuesday we have Steak Tuesdays called Filet Mignon's Tuesday with live music. 200 pesos for 8-ounce filet mignon, baked potatoes, salad, whatever have you. So it's big. We do a lot. We're also promoting Thursdays with karaoke and 2-for-1 margaritas. Woohoo! We're doing a lot of stuff. A lot of people, Canadians and Americans and or other nationals that come here because they're looking for stuff, and we can provide a lot of stuff for them. Our library here is open to the public. Anybody can come in, get a book, bring a book, no fees, no charges, no checkouts. We don't have that many volunteers to do that stuff, so they're free. Just get what you want. And like LCS, they're on the other side, and we're on this side. It's kind of like going from one major city to another major city. Nobody wants to go to the other city unless they actually have to. So that's kind of what it's like here.
So this facility is open to the public. You don't need to be a veteran or a member to participate here. And actually, I just had lunch here before this interview, so I had a great chicken croissant sandwich. So the food is very good. The people next to me were Mexican. There were some other Americans. Another woman from Portland was here too. So it's a very social place for people to just kind of hang out, have a drink, have a meal.
I'm Lynda Wilkinson, and I'm from Portland, Oregon, and moved here in May of 21. Weather is pretty perfect. The people are all very friendly. I love my neighbors. And the Legion, well, it has its moments.
I was born in California, and back in 1997, I migrated to Mexico, and about 10 years ago, I decided to become a Mexican citizen. So I'm a Mexican. Like many, the weather. We don't have extremes. And I like the people. Everybody's helpful and friendly. So, and the cost of living is stupendous.
I'm John DeYoung, Jon, John. Been here for 29 years and 6 months. I was in the United States Coast Guard. I've been to American Legions in Texas and New Jersey and Florida and several other places. My job took me around. The weather's nice here. The Legion is friendly. It's like perfect for me because it's like an old folks home and I'm an old guy.
So I always like to hear people's personal stories of how they ended up in Mexico. So let's hear about that.
My wife and I and my in-laws decided to come to Mexico, try something out, something different, and we did this research, ended up in Lake Chapala, and we're here for the last week of May, one of the brutal heat days or weeks of the area. And so then we got back home and we kicked it around. Maybe we should go for a little bit longer. And lo and behold, my wife and my in-laws made reservations, bought tickets to come back in October the same year. We stayed here for a whole month. And shortly after my wife and I got back home, we were sitting down talking, and we decided we're going to move here. And so we made that decision, finished cleaning up the house, getting rid of all of our stuff. It took the in-laws probably about a month to figure out we were actually going to do it and for them to make the decision to go. And they finally caved in and did all their stuff. They finally sold their house, and we actually moved together. We drove down here, their car and my car, from Portland, Oregon. And we now live here almost 3.5 years, and we've lived together almost the whole time except for maybe in March of this year, that we actually have 2 houses. We're actually next door neighbors. So that's how we got here. We loved it. And I talk to the in-laws every once in a great while. I talk to them all the time, but are you happy? You thinking about it? Oh yeah, we're staying. We're not going back. They don't want to go back. So we're here. And they're going to start doing some worldwide traveling because they can, because they need to spend some of their money. So that's where it's at. And we brought our dog with us. So our dog is happy here because he's out of Portland, get out of the rain and out of the cold and everything. So he's very happy here.
This is so similar to the story of a woman, Annette. I'll make sure that video is linked if it's available. But same thing. She moved down with her parents and her husband and their dogs. And they actually bought a house or kind of a property together, because it's a house and 2 casitas. So her parents live in the casitas, and her husband live in the house, and the dogs live everywhere. It seems to be a very common story here of multi-generational families moving from the U.S. or Canada into Mexico. So it's not necessarily unique across Mexico, but I think it's more common here in Ajijic and Chapala than it is in other places, because the access to care for older people is really good in this area. So this is unique among legions, that everyone is welcome to come in, and that it's so much of a meeting place for everyone. So I'm going to have Randy talk about that real briefly.
Okay, so the American Legion is a policy across the country, across the world. It's a private organization, kind of like elks, moose, lions, all that other stuff. You have to have a card to get in, the buzzer card to get in. Here in Mexico, we're open to the public. Anybody's welcome to come in, so you don't have to be a member. So we get a lot of people in here from across the world, Europeans, Canadians, Mexicans, and we really promote for the locals to come in here. And there are several groups of Mexicans who come in here for meetings, for breakfast and or lunches, to just have something to eat and a place to go, that they don't have to be paid to be a member to come in. And we do get a lot of people in here for that reason. They don't have to be a member, like another organization.
Yeah, it is a little confusing, because I think of the Legion as being only people who served in the military in the U.S. I think it's really well known in this area that this is open to the public, at least amongst the expat community. Let's hear more just about Chapala, because I just arrived here a couple hours ago. I pretty much came into town and got myself lunch. So let's hear just about what people can expect in this town.
It's a small community. There are lots of restaurants, really good restaurants. I just found a really good one the other night, that first time been there. But you get your variety of foods, because it's international. We're from everywhere here. So all the restaurants try to cater to international foods. And so you get all the different restaurants. You got lots of local bars. There's the big cathedral. Every town has a cathedral, big cathedral. Right next door is a restaurant called El Patio, which we go back and forth with for events. They advertise for us, we advertise for them. Very good friends of ours. There's a Malacan. Hopefully you'll see the picture of that. It's very long, it's very beautiful. Lots of restaurants in the Malacan area, so you can walk around, you can drink, you can eat, whatever you want to do on the Malacan. It's open 24/7, so day and night. Lots of beautiful sunrises or sunsets, depending on where you want to be. It's easy to get around. Really, you do not need a car in Chapala. To get to Ajijic, you can take a bus, or you can, take a taxi. Taxi from Chapala to Ajijic, roughly 100 pesos, like a little over $5. So very easy, as opposed to going from, big city, downtown, whatever. I know in Portland, from Aloha to Portland city center is like almost $50. And it's a 20-minute drive, depending on traffic. Yeah. Traffic here is like 2-lane roads, and one way that's all there is. There's no freeways, there's no nothing here, and a lot of cobble streets. So your car, if you're going to have one, it's going to get beat up. Your shocks, your springs, everything. So you got to be very careful on how you drive on the roads around here. A lot of them are just really rough roads, and there are some nice cobble roads, but it can be really rough. And parking, Chapala just opened a parking structure, or a lot actually. It's just as you come into town, I think it'll hold 500 cars, There's no fee on it. They're offering shuttle services between the parking lot and Malakon on some type of schedule. I don't know what that is. It just started, but so you don't have to drive all the way through because they're restructuring the road that comes in from Guadalajara into Chapala Central, and right now only one side of the road is open, so it's a mess. It's a 2-lane road, but it's a 1-lane road, so it can be hectic.
Yeah, definitely. On the weekend, the roads get really kind of packed. I'm actually thinking, if you're from Oregon, of the Newburgh area before the bypass, because everyone was going out to Dundee, Newburgh.
Yeah.
Yep. Everyone was going out to the wine country and making their way back. So similar situation here. So it's nice that they're going to try to kind of put a lot of those tourist cars outside of town and then bring people in so that they can walk around, because it's a very, very walkable community here. I'm looking forward to getting kind of touring around and seeing what's all here. I always like to know also what people like the most about living in Mexico, because that helps you get an idea of what to get excited about.
Some of the great things about living in Mexico is that the people, they're so friendly. I haven't had any bad experience with the locals. Mexicans, I hate saying Mexicans, but that's what they are, because in the United States you can't say that. But they're very friendly, very helpful. I've never had a problem. A broke down car, they come on and help you push it out of the road. They'll call you a tow truck. The food here is amazing. It's not U.S. food. It's not USDA approved, so you can actually taste your food. It's natural. So that's a really good plus. And you lose weight because you're eating natural food. You're not eating all the stuff that goes in the preservatives and all that stuff. So that's really good. I've lost probably 40 pounds. So it's really good. It's easy to lose. Lots of walking you can do. So it's a given. There's so many places just within the Chapala area. Go around the lake, visit little tiny other towns. You get outside Chapala, Ajijic, and you start going out to little tiny towns, you got to know your Spanish. There's nobody going to talk to you. You can do translate all you want. They'll do that, but you can't communicate verbally. There's wineries here on the other side of the lake. They've been going for not that long, but they got to grow the grapes for several years before you can get them. And the guys actually came from Napa. He was born here, went to Napa to go to work. Now he's back here, and he's growing, I think 4 different white wines, which is hard to believe. And he's got like maybe 6 different red wines he's growing. So that's new in the area that people are trying out. We're 45 minutes from tequila. Woohoo! So there's a lot of places to go, a lot of places to see, and it's comfortable. We're not afraid. The crime rate here is very low, but the crime rate you get is petty theft. People are just trying to pick your pockets. People that are snatch your purse, especially on major holidays when all the Guadalajarans come down here. That's when they try and hit, or they're hitting gringos because they got a way to do it. And that happens. But it's petty theft stuff. There's no large major crimes here like gun shootings in the United States every day. That doesn't happen here. Number one, you can't own a gun, supposedly. So it's a beautiful place. And, the weather-wise, 70 degrees average year-round, 50 or 60 at night. It's comfortable. We get May, it gets up in the 80s and 90s for a few weeks, and then back down to the 70s and 80s. And again, it's comfortable. Sandals, flip-flops, whatever you want to call them. Shorts, mandatory, because it's hot. And one thing you will not see a lot of, Mexicans in shorts. They all wear long pants. Some of them wear long sleeves. They wear jackets or hoodies. I go, man, it's too hot for that stuff. They're used to it. So, but yeah, not for me.
Not for me either. I started out this morning in jeans and went to my first interview and did that there. But by the time I got here around noon, it was starting to get a little warm. You can probably see me sweating a little bit. But switched over to some shorts and a good, not cotton shirt here to let the air move through. This summer has just been warm all over the U.S., all over Mexico. So this is kind of a above average temperature summer. But this area, this part of Mexico has some really great weather. So if you're looking for a place to live year round, especially, Kat and I are seasonal, so La Paz works well for us. But to be year round, this would be a place that I'd be looking into a little more. So give it a try. check it out. I'm going to give you some more videos. Here's another video up here about wandering around Chapala from another channel down here. And over here is another video from other expats who have moved to Mexico. Look forward to seeing you there. Hasta luego.